Hands is my fabrics, my pride. I use BF with pure blend of oils which keeps colors rich and the textile perfect. BF cares for.
Welcome back. This is Joy 99.7 FM. You're listening to Drive Time on Joy. I'm Lexis Bill, and this is the part of the show we talk with our doctor. Dr. El Safo is the CEO of Medicas Hospital, and he's in the studio. What's up, Doc? welcome.
Oh,
I'm
thank
excited.
you.
I mean, today you decided to brighten up my studio. You came with a lady. Hello.
I thought you were going to talk about my African wear.
No. I know see you, Seth. Today you came with company. I need her microphone on as well. Yeah, because I want to.
Talk about my African wear and all of that.
You are wearing shirt. I know see you. I thought you were chair bested.
We have been working my secretary squad.
Hey!
Today, I have my list.
You have a list there?
Yes, my joy list. Philip is on top.
Oh, Fauzi.
Philip is on top of that list.
He's on top of the list there.
Philip is on top. But
nice.
I hear Michaela is not listening, so we will do. I'll just focus on Philip for now. As for Abiku, I'm sparing. I put him on the list. Then I took him off. I'm just see how this goes.
Anyway.
But Kwame, yes, I heard you earlier on. Right on top of the show.
Yeah.
We put a teaser out there.
Just to ask people whether they would, consider vasectomy. Some brothers say, Charlie, they want to fire from all cylinders.
Oh, I heard was it from all angles. She's firing from all angles. AK-47.
I'm telling you.
But I don't want to ask consequences. So.
It does? I mean, Doc, why are you like that? Like, when they do that?
I was preserving it to unleash. That's a secret weapon. I was going to unleash the secret weapon from Medicas next week.
But
now you have...
Please, you just give me teaser.
Right,
give me teaser.
So small teaser. So... today I came along.
That's nice. Hello, Yaira. You're welcome.
Hello, Alexis. Thank you very
she's got
much.
a beautiful voice too.
Oh yes. You know, in Medicas, everything is special. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I could use this voice more. You should come less. Spend some time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll tell you this story. So one time I had a dietitian on the show a long time ago on one of my radio shows.
Okay.
And they were talking. Well, she's actually American.
Okay.
So she's a white woman. She had a slur and all of that. So she was talking about, the thing they say about eating, like you don't eat with water, drink water immediately. You wait for about 30 more minutes to before you drink water, right? They were saying something of the sort.
Okay.
This is what this American dietitian was talking about.
Okay.
So after she went on and on about, then I activated the phone lines. Then somebody called and said, hey, Lexis. Oh, Bruno, no, tell us, yeah, me and him, besides, unim eto.
A whole sachet, a bag of sachet water.
So yeah, nice to see you. And we are going to, like you're saying, from next week we'll be having conversations about
September is going to be a lot of nutrition, obesity
conversations,
and then actually correct ways of eating, healthy eating. So we're going to do. September is going to be our nutrition month.
Good stuff.
Right.
But today, we've got a very serious case on our hands. And, Doc, you need to speak to it.
Right. Shall we hear it?
Earlier, I tried to get the ladies away so that me and the brothers can have a conversation. But, Charlie, they didn't go anywhere.
They are stakeholders. So.
Yeah, so they are ready for this. But Kojo sent us a message. Kojo is from Lashibi.
Okay.
He says, I turned 40 years just last month. Lexis, I come from a large family of 14 children.
Hey.
My father was not particularly affluent, and so life was an uphill struggle in my childhood and early adulthood. As a consequence, I made a promise not to repeat my father's mistake of replicating himself so many times. I decided not to have more than 3 children. All things being equal, not more than 3 children.
Okay.
My third child came along when I turned 38. I decided from that time to use a combination of coitus interruptus and condoms as a means of contraception. Lexis, to say it has been difficult using the above means of contraception will be an understatement of the year. I know, right? But, sorry. Moving on. I once heard a group of men having a conversation on the effectiveness of male sterilization or vasectomy at a bus station on my way home from work. I decided to do my own research. Lexis, honestly, I have developed cold feet. I've heard a lot of rumors about how it might affect my sexual prowess. Some friends have discouraged me, saying I'm too young and life has many twists and turns, so I should keep my reproductive potential intact. Can the Drive doctor help me put this matter to rest once and for all? What at all is vasectomy and should I go ahead with it? Doc.
Kwame. Well, good afternoon to all our listeners, and it's good to be here again another Wednesday. Second part of the question, I am not able to give him a straightforward answer, but I'm going to help him navigate all the different aspects of arriving at the decision. And the first part of it, we're going to talk about vasectomy. So he asked a question, what is vasectomy? Well, Kwame, let me talk about the whole concept of family planning. Let me go with that because that's where our friend situates his problem. His father had 14 children.
Charlie, yeah. On that. That's right.
That is a problem. So he had a difficult childhood and early adulthood. So he decided to limit his children, or the number of children that he would have, all things being equal, to 3. And thankfully, he's been able to do that. So most of the time, the issue of vasectomy comes up in the context of family planning. So, solution in respect of planning the family. If you decide productive wishes, then a vasectomy is a surgical procedure for male sterilization or permanent contraception, meaning you are no longer able to fertilize an egg from a woman to form another human being. So I wish we could see this image that you
behind
have put
you
up behind me on the screen.
Well, if you can go on our Facebook page right now, our live
primary school or JHS biology, where you see this image of the testes, and then there are tubes that connect each testis to the urethra in the penis. So this tube brings sperms, which are produced in the testes, the factory house is the testes, and transports them all the way into the penis for it to come as part of the ejaculate, or what we call the cum.
Okay.
To find the sperms is called semen. And I need to make that distinction in this conversation. Most of the time, the cum, as we call it, or the liquid that we see during ejaculation, people refer to it as the sperms.
Okay.
That is not the sperms. So the sperms are very, very tiny living things that you cannot see with the vasectomy. Kwame, all that happens is that we will tie and cut the tubes that connect the testis to the penis or the urethra, so that there is no direct connection and the sperms cannot move.
They return all that.
Yes, about more return. I said, "Oh, could you say anything about so?"
No, I don't know.
You can say that you come home.
So you actually literally cut it.
Exactly. So it's a very tiny tube, maybe like the connection to your ear, your headpiece.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very, very tiny tube. So we tie this and then the urethra. That is all there is to it. It's a very, very simple procedure. It can be done by exactly. So a cut is made on the scrotum,
on
the testis.
Yeah.
So the scrotal sac, so that we get access to it. But it's very, very superficial. So we just make a small cut under local anesthesia. So we will infiltrate that area so that you don't feel to sleep. It's just a small infiltration. We get it done. 5-10 minutes, it's done. And then you are up and going back home. Unable to fertilize an egg, a female egg, and make another human being. Now, there are some advantages. And before I get to that, I'd like to tell you that this procedure is a very old one. The first one was performed in 1889. Yes, so it's a very, very old procedure.
Which lady's idea was it?
Started, he decided that, look, this man, I won't allow this man to kill me. So he decides that, look, let me design something like that. Patients, if we do it, well, there's a cut, so you may have some pain after the anesthesia wears off. But Kwame, you and I have been cut by a blade or a knife in the kitchen before, so really, it's not as if we are making a big incision in your belly.
But not that side. That side didn't cut you before.
Hey, Kwame, why that side? What is there?
Okay.
Yes,
All right,
continue.
let's continue.
It's also a permanent means of avoiding pregnancy. So it's highly effective. Some would say nearly 100% if done right. Because we've a roadblock, we've cut it so that the sperms cannot, go across.
If it's not 100%, say if you say it's almost 100%, then it means
It's just that sometimes the technique out of the gate. We are human. It's not done by artificial intelligence. So I concede that sometimes it might not be done well. But all things being equal, if the procedure has been done right, 100%.
okay.
You can sleep. That's when you can fire at peace.
Okay.
Nobody can trap you. If they bring it, go and do this paternity test.
Sharp.
That means it's not yours. It's ejaculation. So for some men, I mean, that's the height of it. During sex, they expect to have a cum, or they expect to see the ejaculate, and they believe that once we're going to have a cum. No, that is not entirely true. Not all of the fluid that comes out, the semen, originates from down there. You've got other glands, even the prostate produces some of the fluid that make your ejaculate as normal during sex.
But it will come like pure water. Or
Kwame, you know that thing. Hey, then, practical research. Hey, Kwame. Right, so myth number 2, vasectomy changes the way you experience orgasm sex if you won't experience an orgasm. So that climaxes it. And people think that once you do it, then you may have problems. Again, it is not true. After a vasectomy book.
Hallelujah cross.
Yes, exactly. Okay, all of that normal.
Hallelujah.
Vasectomy affects desire for sex. All right? And somebody will think that, after I had my vasectomy, or after I have a vasectomy, it means you will not be interested in women anymore, or you will not have the desire. Not true. This is different from what we call an orchidectomy. Okay. An orchidectomy is a surgical removal of the balls. And the balls are the production house for testosterone. Testosterone is primarily responsible for libido.
Okay.
So if we take away your testes, then we have truly the true crowd here. Your mother. Right. So this is not an orchidectomy. We need to make that point because so many people called from last night when I put this thing up, and the questions was all about libido and whether or not it inhibits it. It has nothing to do. Your testes are there, they are functional, they will still produce testosterone for you. So if you already had a problem, that one your doctor will deal with it. But we wouldn't say that it's the vasectomy that led to it. So Kwame, these are some of the myths that
this is very, very Mr. Bedanidia.
No. That's what they would. Until you are put to the ground, then everything is settled at that point.
Charlie, you know when you were talking about how this cat is a small scrotum before.
Kwame,
zip and fail now.
That area.
Let me activate the phone lines because I know a lot of people have questions about this.
Yeah.
You can call 0302-216-541. Okay, if you have questions about vasectomy, you might choice of family planning. But I want to think that there should be some downsides. I mean, it can't be all rosy like that.
Well, Kwame, actually, it is in a lot of ways. The only downsides are the immediate post-operative thing. So we're talking about the cut thing, but we do it under local anesthesia. So we will give you an anesthetic to numb it when we do it.
Yeah.
And then when the anesthesia wears off and you go home, you will have a bit of pain for which your doctor will give you some painkillers, and it wouldn't last. Most of us have been cut by a blade before. And I know that when we think about issues down there, we tend to cringe and think that, hey, a cut's down there, but it's a tiny cut and would give you some anesthesia and some pain relief. Anytime there's a cut on any part of the body too, there's also the risk of infection. So that is also something that we would talk about. I must mention, however, that you've got to wait 2 to 3 months after a vasectomy before you go singing Hallelujah chorus and firing in all different directions.
3 months.
Yes.
Hey.
Before we are certain that you see, some of the sperms are there in production already. And they are in transit.
Okay.
So we say 3 months, or some will say, well, you must have at least 20 ejaculations.
Hey.
Or wait 3 months.
Okay.
So that we know that we have cleared
The system.
You know,
So if at some point I change my mind.
wow. Okay, that's also one thing. I don't see that as a downside because most of the time I will counsel everybody that vasectomy is for people whose minds are made up because it is irreversible.
If I change my mind, that why is it irreversible?
Kwame, I didn't. We've cut it
So join it.
and we tied it.
Untie it.
That part that we tied is dead. So joining it becomes a problem. Technically, if you think about it, it can be rejoined. But the success rate is poor. So we still think of it as a permanent means of contraception. So it is only for those who are clear in their minds. I don't want to. I know some men who don't want to be trapped, quote unquote, be trapped by a woman with a pregnancy, you know, and so they are very careful. If you're sure, for religious reasons, for cultural reasons, for social reasons, I don't want to have any more children, and you're a man, then vasectomy is the way to go. But if you have any doubts, then its irreversibility then becomes a downside.
Okay. Let me get on the phone line now. Hello?
Hello, Kwame.
Yes, boss. Hey. This laughter there, something
laughter.
day back.
I think the men should opt for vasectomy.
Hey.
And when it comes to family planning, it shouldn't be for the women only.
Why?
Why? The two men in the studio are asking why.
Why? Because it's always the women that goes in for family planning. Sometimes you be there with your husband and then you become pregnant and he's angry with you because he doesn't want to have any more children.
Yes.
So if you don't want to have any more children, then you should also go for the vasectomy.
Hey.
Right.
That's why people are happy this afternoon. Like
Yes,
that.
I'm very, very happy. I was listening
It's
to
interesting
you.
that the first
I've been
caller is a
laughing.
woman. We thought we were going to have a male conversation.
You know, that's why in the beginning I said all women should lower their radio set. But look at them. They are so happy about this conversation. Hey. So many.
Actually, so yes, a lot of women I spoke to actually mentioned to me that yes, men should take up vasectomy a lot more because they get angry with them when they get pregnant and they don't want that thing, and they also don't want to do the condom during marriage. They don't want to do, or they can't do the coitus interruptus too. I think they don't want to. They can't.
Why
But
can't
if
they?
I look at you like this,
Doc, don't look at me.
okay, my chef be Gucci. No?
All right, let's see who's here. Hello.
Kwame,
Yes, brother. Welcome.
Charlie, this early retirement here is wild.
Charlie, serious, my brother. Early retirement, wow.
The early retirement, Papa. But I want to ask Doc something.
Right, ask.
Doc, it's believed that these days most of the guys in town are all having, like most of them are having low sperm count. Okay. Now, if you know for a fact that you have low sperm count, so that means whatever you are firing is blank. Nothing comes out of it. Isn't it the same as having this bisexuality thing?
Right. So if you know, so low sperm count is a medical condition where again it leads to infertility. But that is what it is. It's a low sperm count. So it is not an absolute that you cannot. It's just that the probability of you being able to father a child is highly diminished. So if that is a problem and it's a significant problem, there are some individuals is azoospermia. There's nothing there. Waterloo, there's nothing in there. For such an individual, they don't need to undergo a vasectomy. So again, I would repeat it. If you are clear in your mind as a man, I do not want any woman to tell me I'm the father of the child. Go for a vasectomy.
Okay, so the low, no, it means someday you go feel rain, then go make high.
You see?
Then pa.
Okay. So low is low. It's
right.
not zero.
All right, hello.
Hello, yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you. This is Lukman from Kishinunga.
All right, look.
Yeah, please, I need education here. I would like to find out, family planning, is it only about having fewer children? Because I realize that anybody who talk about family planning, they talk about to have fewer children. Please, I need education here. Thank you.
Right. So very good point he made. We always are caught on that side talking about fewer children, but it's also about spacing the children. I think that's also a very important aspect of family planning. So if you want to have 3 children, we want them to be well spaced out. So because of all the toll pregnancy takes on a woman, we wouldn't want her to have a child within 2 years, of the first one.
Okay.
So family planning is about the number and then also the timing.
Okay, good stuff. Look, lots of people are trying to call, but they're not getting through because it's a very interesting topic and people have questions about it, but we don't have the time. So if you can kindly share your number so that they can reach out to you and cut it.
0501 477 340 0501 477 340.
Yes, you can reach out to Dr. Yao Safo or come by the Medical Hospital in Medina Firestone or Mampo Ekiap. In regards going out to my dear brother William Mufarida Akon, who likes this topic.
He's actually my neighbor.
Oh, is it?
He's a senior on that. He's up there on the mountains. Yes, I know William.
Yeah, good to know you're tuned in, bro. Have a good day. Thank you so much, Doc. And next week we're going to see you and Yaira as well. Yaira, I see you smiling plenty. Yeah. Okay. Next week we'll have a conversation about obesity and dieting. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So that's about it. Drive Chat brought to you by MTN TCL and well, actually. Before we go, let me just read this message from one of our friends who's coming in. He says, tell them I had mine 7 years ago and no side effects. High libido, my brother.
Bam.
Achisa. Amazing.
Lexis.
What's happening in news?
In the headlines, the Sunyani police has retrieved the intestines of the 2 children who were murdered